Hello, my name is Alvin Brown. I'm a tax attorney. Today I'm going to speak to you about using the office of the National Taxpayer Advocate. The advocate office is broken down into local offices. The local offices are listed in Notice 1214, revised January 2007. It's Notice 1214. And there they'll give you the address and the phone number of the Taxpayer Advocate's office. I have another list that I picked up from one of the annual reports of the National Taxpayer Advocate and one of her reports to Congress with the fax numbers on it as well. If you call that number, they will return a call. They say they'll return a call within a couple of days. The best way to reach the Taxpayer Advocate office is to fax to them if you can. A Form 911. Form 911 you can get from www.irs.gov in the form section, or just even put Form 911 in Google and that form should come up. It's a very easy form to fill out, one pager, and you send it into the IRS describing the hardship that you have. Well, the hardship that most people have with regard to the IRS is levies. Levies on income, levies on receivables. Levies on income are continuous, levies on receivables are continuous. Sometimes there's a levy on a bank account that contains payroll or some other important funds, or even savings that are earmarked for other purposes. So, but a hardship under 6343 of the Internal Revenue Code is when you are deprived of income, funds that you need for housing, food, clothing, transportation, prescriptions, health insurance, court order payments, child care. All of these things are identified in regulations as necessary expenses, and the IRS is not supposed to levy that. So if you have that problem, one of the offices that can help you get out of that jam is the Office of the Taxpayer Advocate. And there's at least one office in every state. Some states like California and New York, larger states, have more than one local taxpayer advocate office. But I think any office will help you. If you get in touch with any office, they should give you help. And there's also a toll-free number I'll give you. It's 877-777-4778. You call that number and they'll tell you what office you should use. I think the most effective way to get to them is by fax. So use the fine. You can call that 800 number, get the fax number of your local taxpayer advocate office, fax that 911 to them, and describe the hardship that you're having. Having said that, I'm afraid that the Taxpayer Advocate's Office doesn't function as it's designed to function by Congress. Congress gave them the authority to issue these taxpayer assistance orders. I think the intent was in writing, and unfortunately, as implemented, they 99.9% of the time don't issue a written taxpayer assistance order. They try and persuade the IRS to stop whatever they're doing that's creating a hardship orally. And therefore the IRS collection people can say, no, we're not going to do it. So I've been in many situations where it's a stalemate. A taxpayer advocate is advocating hardship, and the IRS collection office is saying, the hell with that, we're not going to do it. We're just going to continue, collecting and levying, and we don't care. And that's unfortunate. That's a problem. I've actually just now submitted testimony to the Oversight Subcommittee of the Ways and Means Committee. They held a hearing on June the 4th. Deadline for testimony was the 18th of June '09. I've submitted that testimony, and I've criticized the National Taxpayer Advocate Office for not issuing written taxpayer assistance orders as apparently required by Congress or suggested by Congress. But I don't think that office is doing its job. That doesn't mean that they don't help. I mean, I've had numerous cases where the taxpayer advocate's office and the people working in that office are extremely helpful in trying to stop a hardship situation. It's mostly in the case of levies, and there's something important that a lot of people erroneously have not filed tax returns, and the IRS no way will stop a levy if there are any unfiled tax returns. So if you're in a situation where IRS is threatening to levy and you think it's going to create a problem, get those tax returns in, and the only thing they would check are those returns in. So you want to file those returns in good faith and make them as accurate as you can, but please try and get those tax returns in. The resulting tax debt is something that requires a different solution, often compromise or an installment agreement. But to stop a hardship, the IRS will not really want to stop a garnishment of income unless there's a filed tax return. Now, I think that position's wrong because the statute that deals with the economic hardship, 6343, is unqualified. It doesn't say that there's only a hardship when returns are filed. It just doesn't say that. Now, the taxpayer advocate reports directly to Congress. It gives the advocate's office the ability, therefore, to be independent of the IRS, although they are under the IRS. They're under the IRS, but since they report directly to Congress, and the advocate writes a report once a year, that gives the taxpayer advocate power to help in these situations. My criticism of that office is that they have this power and it's greatly unused. So, unfortunately, and that's one of my complaints to Congress about that office, is that they underuse the authority that they have that's given to them by Congress. Further, the advocate's office has been known as an office that is supposed to be your ombudsman. That means your representative to the IRS. They are supposed to represent you in dealing with the IRS on any kind of a hardship situation. And the administration, of course, as I just described to you, is really underused. That is, it really troubles me, as you can tell, enormously, that they have this enormous authority to help, and yet they're not doing it. But, I mean, Congress has made a very simple statement. The IRS cannot levy you. It's creating an economic hardship. They can't take food out of your mouth, and they can't take money that you need to buy milk for the kids. So that's a hardship. They do that, and they'll levy a business account, and they'll, if they levy the receivables of a business, that's gross income, the business is going to fail. So the IRS has a lot of power to crush businesses and with a levy, and a lot of the revenue officers just don't care. They don't care. Their job is to collect. Their training is to collect. Their perspective is to collect. I don't care what kind of a hardship it is. They're doing their job, but they're collecting money. My view is that they should be eliminated, and you should get the assistance you need from the Office of the Taxpayer Advocate. My phone number is 703-425-1400, extension 106. My email address is ab@irstaxattorney.com. If you have any comment you want to make to me about the Advocate's Office, your experiences with it, or any other matter, please get in touch with me. Thanks for listening, and I hope I've been helpful to you.